Hi babes, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. As you read above, today is obviously going to be a Q&A and an honest truth about the things no one talks about when it comes to loose skin. So I had you babes ask me over on my Instagram a couple questions, and I wanted to pick the most personal and questions that I've never really seen anybody talk about when it comes to loose skin, and it's things that I actually deal with and I know a lot of you actually deal with, and I just want to be open, real, and raw with you babes and answer all of these very vulnerable and intimate questions, because I know that these are questions I would have had on my weight loss journey. They're actually questions I wish I had someone talk about and normalize a little bit more. So I'm here to talk about all those very personal questions that all of you women have when it comes to major weight loss, loose skin, intimacy with loose skin, all of that. So if you would like to hear all about that, then just keep watching. All right, babes, I have the questions right here. There are about 11 really good, intimate, personal, deep, juicy questions. So let's just dive right into this. So first question, how many pounds did you lose when you first noticed loose skin? So this one's kind of a tough one, because even when I was like 272 plus pounds, my tummy skin already hung and the skin on my arms was actually already hanging too. So in my mind, I already had loose skin even before I started losing weight. So once I started losing weight, it's basically like where the loose skin already was just started to deplete even more. Like my hanging tummy would just get smaller and smaller. And luckily I did notice it would start to shrink up, but I basically already had loose skin to start with, and then it just depleted even more. So I would say I started noticing it, you know, right before and right away. Okay, question number 2. I am petrified of having loose skin. Is it worse than what you had expected? So this is actually a really good question, because when I started my weight loss journey, I really didn't even think too much about the loose skin. I was just so focused on losing weight and feeling good again. I wasn't really like, oh my gosh, I don't want to lose this weight because I don't want to have loose skin. And I have a lot of babes who actually messaged me on Instagram and said that they haven't started their weight loss journey because they're petrified of the loose skin. And to me, I'm not petrified of the loose skin, because my overall health is what matters to me. And if that means being healthy and having loose skin, I'm okay with that. Because no matter what, when I was overweight, I still had a tummy that hung, but my health was crap. And now I have loose skin, but I'm healthy. So it's kind of like you pick your battle. Like, do you want to be unhealthy and overweight, or do you want to be healthy and potentially have some loose skin? And that's what it came down for me. But is my loose skin worse than I expected? I would say probably not. Honestly, I thought I was gonna have an excessive amount of loose skin, which, don't get me wrong, I do have an excessive amount of loose skin, especially when I'm on all fours or leaning forward. That's when you can really notice how much of it actually hangs off my body. So no, it's really not worse than what I had expected if I was anticipating anything, because if I really sit back and think of how far I've come, and if I showed 2019 Victoria, 2020 Victoria, she would have been like, holy shit, like body goals, you know what I mean? So if we're talking from start to now, no, like I'm really fucking proud of how far I am, and my expectations of my loose skin are not as bad as I thought they were gonna be either. Okay, question number 3 is, what areas of your body have loose skin? So a lot of my body actually has loose skin. I have loose skin on my arms. My breast skin has loosened a lot. I have loose skin right under my breast. My whole tummy is loose. My girly parts are also loose. We are going to get to that in a little bit. And my thigh skin is loose, you guys. I also have loose skin right above my butt. And the only way I'm really able to notice that loose skin is if I pull on it or if I'm doing upside down yoga. But basically my whole body has loose skin, which sounds kind of crazy like when I'm saying it out loud right now. But I would say even though my body has loose skin basically everywhere, certain areas are definitely worse than others. Like my problem area for me is definitely my tummy. Like that's where my loose skin is the most. Like my underarms have actually shrunk up quite a bit, you guys, which is really crazy because like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, my arms are still so big. I have so much loose skin. But when I check back into all like my progress photos, I'm like, damn girl, your arms have shrunk up. That skin has shrunk up and you're looking good. So on certain areas, you can notice my loose skin more so than other areas. Like my thighs also have loose skin, but it's not super excessively noticeable except when I lay down. When I lay down, you can see all the skin literally just like lay on top of like my hips and my like hoo-ha. It's pretty interesting. I love to like pull my loose skin up and down. Loose skin is such a trip, you guys, and it's like so soft at the same time too. So it's like I catch myself playing with my arm loose skin. I catch myself playing with my tummy loose skin. Loose skin's a trip. Does your loose skin cause you pain / physical discomfort? So I think that's actually a really good question because I know this is different with everyone. Some people that have more loose skin than others do have like chafing. They do have like tears that happen. Luckily, I don't have anything like that happen with my loose skin, but I do have times where my loose skin is a little uncomfortable when I'm working out. So I do notice at times my upper tummy area feels like it's being pulled on if I'm doing something like jumping or jumping jacks. Something with a lot of movement that pulls on my skin, I do feel a little uncomfortable, but nothing to the point where I have to stop a workout because it hurts so bad. Nothing like that, luckily. Does your loose skin affect the way you run? So that kind of goes back into the question I just answered. It does not affect the way I run, but sometimes when I am running, I'm not gonna lie, my loose skin claps a lot. If you have loose skin, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but my thighs, they clap. My tummy slapping my upper pubic area claps all the time. So sometimes it's a little embarrassing when I'm running if I'm not wearing tight enough compression gear that my loose skin does clap, which that is pretty uncomfortable running and having your skin clap on each other. So that's the only time it would affect me if I'm not wearing the right compression workout leggings. Compression workout leggings are my best friend, you guys, because if my workout leggings are not compressed, my loose skin will literally come out of my leggings. Like if I'm doing a jumping jack and I'm wearing a size medium leggings instead of my size small, or they're just not compressed enough, my loose skin literally comes out. So that's a little uncomfortable. But typically if I'm wearing enough compression gear, my loose skin doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect the way I run. It doesn't affect my workouts very much so. Okay, she says, I feel rude asking, but do you think loose skin adds extra pounds on the scale? Yes, 100%. And don't feel rude for asking at all. I'm very open, real, and raw with you, babes. I want this to be a very honest conversation because maybe some of you are also on a major weight loss journey, much like myself. I've lost 100 pounds. If you're not here from Instagram, you're here from somewhere else. You might have not known that, but I've lost 100 freaking pounds. And I want to answer these questions that you babes have, even if it seems maybe a little rude. These are questions I had at one point too, and I wish someone answered these questions. So do not feel rude for asking these vulnerable questions. I'm here to answer them. But I absolutely do believe that loose skin holds a decent amount of weight on the scale, because also if you deal with loose skin, or maybe you don't, there's also this thing with like bloating and loose skin. Like my loose skin bloats so much, you guys. Like there's a point in time where like sometimes I look pregnant because my loose skin bloats so heavily. And when I pick up my loose skin, like I could physically pick up my skin from my body and I can feel it. Like it feels very heavy. So I definitely feel like once I get it removed, if and when I get it removed, not if, it's actually when I get it removed, I do feel like the scale is going to change. And a lot of the skin removals that I've seen on Instagram, I see a lot of women lose anywhere from like 5 to 10 pounds with having the tummy tuck or the 360. So yeah, loose skin definitely makes that scale number go up. All right, another question. Did your boobs shrink? Girl, are you kidding me? Yes. I went from a 42 triple D down to a 34D. I think that's what I'm at right now. I think I'm at a 34D at Victoria's Secrets. So when I was in a 42 triple D, I had to get my bras from Lane Bryant. That was the only place that literally supported big girl boobies. Yeah, you can go to like, you know, Victoria's Secret and they claim to have 40 triple D. No. Lane Bryant always had my 42 triple D with the most secure bands, the most coverage. My boobs, you guys, were massive at one point, and now they've deflated so much. And that's one thing with major weight loss too, at least for me. My breasts were like sucked dry almost. For instance, picture this. This is what my boobies look like outside of a bra. If you got like a long pair of socks and then you put rocks at the bottom of them, can you relate to that? If not, that is what happened to my girls after major weight loss. Like, they took my boobies with them. Also, another weird thing with weight loss and boobies is that even though like they've sagged more, they've also lost volume. So when I lay on my back, I have the weirdest thing happen, and it's so frustrating, you guys. This is like one of those frustrating things. Even though like major weight loss is totally fucking worth it, it makes me a little sad sometimes when I look down and my boobies are literally to the side, completely flat, and my nipples are like inverted. I'm like, where, what, why did you have to take my boobs? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like my body has changed so much with my weight loss, which I'm so thankful for, but I've had to learn to love my new boobies, to learn to love my new skin. Like, this is a whole nother journey. It's not just you lose all this weight, you feel great. Yeah, you do feel great, but you still have to work on the inside and learning to love your new body, learning to love your loose skin, learning to love the way your body lays now, because it's so much different. Like, I went from 272 plus pounds to 160. Like, those are two different bodies. Okay, next question, and this is the most personal. We're about to get into the good stuff, you guys. Okay. Woo! This is the one question nobody talks about. Nobody. So, let's get into it. What happens to your kitty? I'm so nervous for this. Does she look 80 after? Okay. You already know what we're talking about. We're talking about our lady bits here. And this is the one thing literally nobody talks about, you guys, is major weight loss and what does your downstairs look like after? So if I think about it, when I was 272 pounds, I was a little more fluffy down there, if you get what I'm saying. And when you lose weight, everything shrinks. But just because everything shrinks doesn't necessarily mean it goes completely back to normal. For instance, our tummies. My tummy was really big. It's depleted now, but now I have leftover loose skin. So the same thing has basically happened to my downstairs. If I was butt naked and you saw me, you'd probably just think that she looks like a, you know, a thick little pancake, you know what I mean? But when I'm naked by myself and I can pull my skin up, everything looks different. So that is one thing that happens with major weight loss, is that for me, I was left over with loose skin on my pubic area. So my pubic area is basically loose. And so what would fix that for me would be a tummy tuck, because it would pull up my pubic area as well as pull down my tummy. So that is an issue that I have actually dealt with since major weight loss, and I never even thought that was a thing. When I was 272 pounds, I thought, oh, I'm gonna lose weight. My hoo-ha is gonna lose weight too. And I was like, well, yeah, your hoo-ha is gonna lose weight, but there's a chance that there's gonna be some leftover skin. And so that has happened. And is there anything wrong with that? No. Does that affect the way I go to the bathroom or the way I'm intimate with my partner? To an extent, yes, but not to the point where it's uncomfortable or it's extremely noticeable. But that is one of those things that, like, I wish someone had talked about, because for the longest time, I felt like I was the only one who can pull my tummy up and pull my hoo-ha off my body. Like, what? Like, to me, I just felt so uncomfortable in my own body until I actually started talking to a few other women on Instagram who had their tummy tucks done. And I just straight up asked them, I'm like, did your hoo-ha change after surgery? And they're like, oh yeah, she's so much smaller now because I had loose skin. And I'm like, nobody talks about that. Like, why? And it's because we're uncomfortable. It's fucking uncomfortable to talk about your hoo-ha being loose, but there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make you less attractive. It doesn't mean you're less woman, nothing like that. You're still normal. And I just really wish that that was talked about a little bit more, but I understand why it's not. It's a tough thing to talk about, but I'm here to talk about it because it's completely normal to have loose skin on your lady bits after major weight loss. And I just want to talk about that. So in case you're on a weight loss journey, or maybe you've already experienced major weight loss and you also deal with that, and maybe it feels uncomfortable for you too, you are not alone. I also deal with that too. And I know there's a bunch of other women who also deal with that. So none of us are alone. We're here to normalize loose skin. Okay, so now that we've talked about our lady bits, let's talk about intimacy. So next question is, with loose skin, are you a little insecure to new partners or current partners? Any tips? So it's definitely different being with someone after major weight loss. Like I said earlier, your body looks different. You have to get used to your new body, the way your skin lays now. And that's something that I'm still currently working on with my partner, my current partner, my boyfriend. And my partner is very understanding. My partner knows I've gone through major weight loss, but he still finds me very beautiful and very attractive. But I think the number one tip for me is you need to get comfortable seeing yourself naked and being naked with yourself. That's one thing that's really helped me get more comfortable with myself, is being naked with myself. Because if I'm not comfortable seeing myself naked, how am I going to be comfortable getting into bed with my partner? So one thing that I've really tried to work on, and this is a daily thing, you guys, part of my self-love journey, is looking at myself in the mirror. And I am butt naked when I do this. I run my hands all over my body and pour energy into myself. I compliment myself. I feel myself because I want to be familiar with how I feel and the way my body moves. Because if I'm not comfortable with myself and I don't know the way my body moves, how am I going to be able to do that with a partner? So I think part of being intimate with loose skin is really getting comfortable with yourself first. I also think when you are with the right person, you're gonna feel that connection and you are going to feel comfortable. Maybe not every single time, because let's be honest, there are times when me and my partner are having our moment and I look down and I see my skin literally folded in half, or I can hear it clapping, making a bunch of noises. And it's just like, I have to constantly remind myself how far I have come, how badass and how motherfucking strong I am, okay? And just a little loose skin is not gonna kill my drive, honey. Because I'm sexy no matter what. And I constantly tell myself that. I look at myself, I compliment myself, I take photos of myself, and that's to help me on my self-love journey. So you have to find those things that help you feel confident within yourself and within your loose skin. And trust me, it is a daily battle. And I understand that because I have some days, you guys, where I'm like, I am the sexiest thing ever. My loose skin is so beautiful. And then I have other days where I legit cry in frustration from my loose skin. So I get both sides of it, you guys. It's hard. It's hard to accept your new body and learn to love it and still want it to change. But that's the thing I've also realized, is you're allowed to love your body and still want it to change and still work towards change. That is okay. But pouring self-love into myself has really helped my loose skin journey, and just being more comfortable in my skin, embracing my skin, feeling my skin, and wearing clothes that make me feel good and make me feel confident have really helped me embrace my loose skin. All right, babes, moving on from that, we have 2 more questions and then we will be wrapping this up. So one of the questions is, will you be getting skin removal? I really want to have skin removal surgery. I would love to have a 360 body lift with a Phoenix and have a a breast lift, possibly some implants. That would definitely be my goal. But if I can only pick one thing to have done, it would definitely be my 360 body lift, because that would take care of my tummy, the loose skin above my booty, and that would take care of my hoo-hoo area. And I would just freaking love that, you guys. Like, whenever I finally find a surgeon, whenever I finally find out when I can financially afford to have skin removal, I'm going to document the entire freaking process, because I want you guys to see the ins, the outs, the pretty and the ugly. Because I know on, you know, on Instagram we see this little box, and it's usually after surgery, healing, and then looking like a bad bitch. But I know in between all that is a lot of mental struggles, a lot of physical struggles, and I want you guys to be there for every step of it. And I want to show the real, raw reality of that type of surgery. So hopefully within the next year or so, I will be vlogging that. Imagine that, you guys. Last question before we wrap this up, and it is, if surgery was not an option, would you be okay with your loose skin? I'm gonna be honest. The first thing I thought when I read that question was no. No, I don't want my loose skin. If surgery wasn't an option, I'd be pissed. But if I sit back and think about it, right now, surgery is not an option for me. It is so expensive, you guys. Like, if any of you guys have looked up the cost of these procedures, it's like on the low end to start is like $20,000. That's the same price as my car. Like, so as of right now, it isn't an option for me. And as of right now, I am okay with that, because I am still working on my body and still pouring love into my body. And my body is beautiful. It doesn't give me any struggles daily. I feel good. Yes, it pulls when I'm running. Yes, it claps when I'm intimate. Yes, it makes me uncomfortable at times. Yes, there's times that I have to pull on it to fit into certain things. And of course, the end goal is to have it removed. But if there was some reason that I could not ever have my skin removed, I would be okay with it. I would learn to be okay with it, because this is my body. And no matter what my body looks like, my body still deserves to be loved, even if I want it to change. So yeah, I think I would be okay with it if that wasn't an option, like 110%. But of course, I would love to have my skin removed eventually, because the one thing about loose skin that's very frustrating is that I have to constantly remind myself how far I've come, because I can't necessarily see all my results because of how much loose skin I have on my tummy. And it gets very frustrating. So one of these days, absolutely, I would love to see everything beneath this loose skin. But if I can't do that, I will be okay with that, and I will learn to love myself exactly the way I am, just like I've been doing. Okay, babes, that is going to wrap it up for this Q&A. I really liked answering those questions. They were very intimate, they were very deep, they were very personal for me, and I really hope that you babes liked that. I hope maybe that something I answered helps you on your journey, or makes you feel a little more confident and comfortable in your skin, in your loose skin, maybe the loose skin you're potentially going to have. Because loose skin is not the end of the world. It does not define your worth. It does not define your beauty. And I just want to normalize the talk of loose skin and the talk of wanting to change your body at the same time as loving your body. So I hope this video helped you, babes. If it did, be sure to smash the thumbs up. If you'd like me to do another video like this, make sure to follow me over on my Instagram. I'll drop another box sooner than later so you guys can ask me some more intimate and personal deep questions for me to answer on my channel. But until next time,